lead already in their favor. What are we going to see? We have a Battlefield of Eternity coming in here. Another potential good Diablo map, but then again, at this point, with how he is in the meta at the moment, every map is a good Diablo map.
Quite so, quite so. And you know what? Normally, when the quote-unquote underdog team chooses BOE against a heavily favored team, I'm always like, ooh, that is a bold move here. But you know what? After just dominating almost every single team fight, I think the A team can afford to go on one of the most team fight heavy maps in the game.
I think you might be right, as we have the Illidan banned out. Last time it actually made it through to the second set, but this time very quickly removed.
I keep saying that this Illidan ban is giving the A team so much value, because basically that means whenever their first pick, they can choose up to one good in meta hero first, right? That Illidan pick takes away the white main, for example. Alternatively, they could have also gone for the Phoenix. Now, the Genji makes it through, though. Okay, so that is a Melody C hero right there. Now, aren't they going Sally white main? The Diablo band, that's a pure respect ban against Itzcook at this point.
So, yeah, I think that's fair. So now is the question, like you said, with white main available, but also Decade, which one do you prioritize? It is going to be the white main over the Decade. It seems to be a personal preference from a lot of teams, which one of these they do prefer.
Especially since they had in mind to go Garrosh, and Garrosh white main is just super scary. Garrosh benefits of those heals like hardly any other warrior in the game because of his passive armor, so all these heals will give him way more value because that armor is going to take or is going to provide additional safety, so that health that he just gained is going to be drained much more slowly. Super cool to see that. On top of that, of course, we have the strong Scarlet Aegis now, always a beneficial tool to nearby wounded allies. Kazim ban, I do not hate that. It's a good racing support if you need additional damage, and also could apply really decent follow-up to Genji and Anubarak.
There's the Sergeant Hammer. Banned away, good siege onto the objective, and also great zoning potential. So a solid ban out there. The A team, they need any kind of damage right now, and also a solo laner with Blaze already on the board. Leoric gains a little bit of value, but Yrel also still available, so they could go for that, or they could go for someone like a Malthael themselves to get that little bit of extra immortal damage.
Yeah, gotta get that Rainer in there as well, right, for the racing potential. Well, speaking of racing potential, it is Artanis time, baby. Let's go.
Artanis and Thrall coming in here. So Thrall, the potential for Crash Lightning returns, and the immediate reaction of, oh, okay, you've got blinds. So, sorry, you've got auto attackers. So I guess Cassia. Cassia and Genji combined together here with a very dive-heavy frontline. It's going to be a very all-in style from SPT here.
Honestly, I wouldn't even bother. Oh my goodness, I wouldn't have even bothered the blinds. I would have still gone Rainer, because what Rainer does, you know, Cassia can only blind you every now and then. But what Rainer still offers is heavy-hitting auto attacks against Anubarak, which is exactly what they want to go for. But then again, you also have to take into account the cocoon. And Li Ming is now going to basically pop those cocoons with Disintegrate every single time. So, although it's not Rainer, I still like that last pick. Not only is she good on BOE, but also, as we said, she has that great counterplay potential to the Anubarak.
That she does. Interesting setup here as we are preparing to head in to our second game. I do like... I mean, the A-team draft is a little odd, but I don't dislike it. It's definitely got... It's got gumption, I think is the word I'm going to look for here.
They at least have that little something about their draft that makes me be like, on the one hand, not so sure about that. But on the other hand, if Artanis finds these good openings, right? If he finds those good long-distance swaps, for example, if he has good engages, he's going to be extremely hard to kill, especially with a white main. We talked about Garrosh, you know, benefiting of all those heals because of his armor. Artanis is the same story. He benefits heavily of all that healing because of his shields. So additional armor onto Artanis, and he's going to be nigh unkillable.
Indeed so, but can they get this to bear? If they can lock down Artanis enough, then maybe they'll be able to pick up the kills. For now, though, spawning on the left-hand side, it will be the super perfect team with Lucky, Melody C, Misaka, Soap, and ZZH.
And facing them is the A-team with LK, Olele, Bruiser, Stugos, Itzcook. And together, they form the unit of the A team. Now, Artanis is going to be the sole laner, it seems, and Thrall could very well just go for that Crash Lightning again. Still debating on which talent he's supposed to take. Nope, it is the Echo of the Elements, and I don't hate it because although Crash Lightning is relatively easy to stack on this battleground, if you stack up Echo of the Elements, you're going to have more frequent, more often, you're going to have those Chain Lightnings against Cassie, who's quite susceptible to that ability damage.
And so, like you said, more of that poke as much as possible. With a Q start to the build for White Mane, but we have been seeing players go, instead of into the full Q or into the full Inquisition, we have been seeing a Q into W build a little bit more often these days.
Okay, Misaka immediately pieces out here, realizes, you know what, I don't want to be standing in tower range. Look at Melody C, he does what he does best. He's going for that middle fountain. Artanis actually tries to engage here and keep him at bay, but I think Melody C is just going to wait for his mobility tools to come off cooldown.
Look at Blaze. Blaze, the second Artanis left lane, Blaze moved above the lane and has actually damaged the fountain up there as well. He hasn't finished it off, but he started it. He set it up for Genji to maybe do later on. Thrall has abandoned lane completely. Guarded this fountain for in case Melody C comes back.
Yeah, so Melody C's teammates in the bottom lane, they're going to keep him updated, right? Okay, you know what? Thrall is still missing, so you better come back to lane now because we might have the upper hand in terms of numbers. Now, LK, on the other hand, is trying to turn things around here, trying to go for that top mercenary camp. And that is a good move altogether. And just look at how the A team is rotating around here. They're trying to catch Melody C in the middle of this battleground, dealing a little bit of damage to him, so it makes it riskier for them to actually send in the Genji yet again for that middle fountain. I believe we saw that yesterday in the Open Division as well, right? Where there was mind games going on all of the time on BOE, so they actually had someone sent in the middle right at the get-go. You always have to expect these Genji shenanigans here.
I think you're right. I'm struggling to remember, but I think you might be correct. I mean, there was definitely some good mind games coming in the finals, but there was a lot going on yesterday as Misaka. Very nice timing there on his Nerubian armor, just immediately popping that to get the shield of the spell armor available, so he just absorbs the arcane missiles from Li Ming.
Okay, this time Eatscook finds Genji with friends nearby. It is also a Nubrak who keeps him safe for now. But already, when the support shows up, and the low HP Garrosh all of a sudden doesn't really seem to be that much of a rewarding target anymore. Is Garrosh actually going to teleport all the way back here? Looks like he is indeed. Doesn't want to use the healing fountain and doesn't want to drain the mana of White Mane for no reason.
Camps being taken by both teams. This fountain was never finished off. I would love to see Genji go in there and finish that off soon. Blaze, for the moment, is spending his time cleaning up top as Nubrak, as we can see here, is cleaning up bot. So XP-wise, SPT, a much more efficient mercenary than the A team.
I think so too. Let's see. Eatscook in position. Doesn't throw the beetle. These mini beetles here, by the way, spawned by Nubrak, give precious vision. Now, Bruiser's already in the mix there as well, applying the amateur opponent damage. Has to go back for now, though. Once again, blinds and stuns. That is what Artanis is most susceptible to. So you want to make sure to stay away from those abilities.
So, positions taken up, and more pro coming in from Li Ming, as Eatscook needs to be careful where he stands. Quick and indomitable, and he will be able to disengage.
It's a little far away from the White Mane right now. Lily definitely has to drop a Q onto him. Yep, there it goes. A little bit of additional healing now, but Olele needs to be in the range of the opposing heroes. Otherwise, there's just not much going to come through here. Halftime show has, of course, been taken already. And with the A-team spreading out a nice concave, they can land their abilities quite nicely here. Li Ming, careful.
You see a nice little trade-off. Soap taking a lot of damage, but he's able to sustain through this and will be able to move back to the rest of his team. With that meltdown, he is going to be a bit of a pain for at least the Artanis and the Thrall when they do engage him. So this is why he's playing defensively. We would expect, though, to see someone move across the map and erase this for SPT. And it's going to be Genji, but he does not race very quickly. And so, in trouble once again. He hasn't got Pyromania available, and a quick flip from Bruiser guarantees the kill.
And Artanis is absolutely putting in that work right now. Not only is he going to shred Misaka with his auto attacks, Because let's face it, Artanis hits pretty hard with that Twin Blade and his initial basic auto attacks as well. But also in that previous engagement, when we had that long distance swap onto Cassia, he basically made sure to put Cassia out of position, right over the terrain, and he brought himself into position to actually continue fighting in the front lane. So up to this point, my personal MVP is definitely Bruiser, making all those right decisions when it really matters.
Working out for them for the moment, as it is going to be Thrall, though, moving up to the top lane to assist with the soaking up there. And Artanis, he has Amateur Opponent, which does work on buildings as he moves in.
Exactly. So you have Thrall in the top lane, which is totally fine. As you said, extra damage coming in by Bruiser on those structures as well. It doesn't only work against objectives or minions, structures get affected by it just as well.
Move in, Stu goes.
No way.
Low, he tags through, it gets his damage output, and Garrosh, though, will still fall. Kill achieved by SPT, but this Immortal continues to push. How much value can it get? They start to turn around, but again, not the greatest Immortal clear speed. They are able to save their fort, though.
Yep, but what they can save here right now is that tower in the top lane. So Garrosh, unfortunately, giving his own life there to protect Whitemane. A noble sacrifice indeed, but it almost worked out to keep him alive as well. So while A-Team didn't really gain much in the bottom lane, they still got the towers. They still brought this fort down low. And I think in the near future, that's definitely going to fall anyways. Yeah. So we saw the Echo of the Elements now completed for Thrall, double Chain Lightning, and he goes for a really interesting 7-talent Tetra.
Yeah, that is the Maelstrom Fury? I don't even know.
Maelstrom I was so focused on
Maelstrom Weapon, that's the one. I was focused on Artanis there, who has gone for the Solarite Reaper, giving him better wave clear and a little bit of instant burst teamfight damage, but it means his survivability is a little bit lesser than some of the other talents that could give him armor or attack speed, as he does dive in here for Soap. But yeah, Maelstrom Weapon, a stacking quest talent for Wind Fury on Thrall, meaning that every time he hits against an auto attack against a hero while Wind Fury is active, he increases his attack damage by 1. When he gains the 20 attack damage, he increases his movement speed bonus of Wind Fury by 40%, and after hitting 40 bonus attack damage, he permanently gains 15% extra movement speed.
That's pretty crazy, but it of course needs a little while until that talent really gets rolling, but if it's fully stacked and if it gets rolling, Thrall is going to be one mobile assassin. Now, you brought up the level 7 choice for Artanis, right? Additional damage on the Blade Dash. Pretty interesting one, but I think against Cassia, it actually makes a lot of sense as well, because the more ability damage you can dish out, the more damage you're going to be able to deal against her. Whereas if you had gone for Follow Through, for example, which is quite the common talent on BoE, it still gets denied pretty much by the physical armor onto Cassia. So going for the ability route this time around, ability damage route, is pretty smart. And I love the build coming in from from Artanis up to this point.
I haven't seen Tastar in ages.
We haven't seen him in quite a while, that's true.
What a strange Freudian slip. As we do see the damage coming in onto Garrosh. Quick toss with Indomitable, but Fend is good damage. But Yeeskook, too tanky, at least at this stage.
Oh my goodness, do you really want to teleport back there right in front of the enemy team? I think that must have just been a quick bait here. Level 10 has arrived now. Sundering, Scarlet Aegis. We see the Purifier Beam coming in from Artanis. Additional single target damage against slow targets like maybe the Cassia. Actually, it's also pretty cool to see the interaction between Bunker and Purifying Beam, because the target will basically still remain while inside the bunker, so that beam is actually going to melt the bunker like butter pretty quickly.
Exactly. So now then, pressure coming in. Nice move back here as a nice little groundbreaker coming in from Yeeskook as well.
Yep.
But how well is this going to work? LK moves forward, trying to gain the positioning. Yeeskook is already a little low. You can see Stukos moving forward, trying to gain a little bit of healing for Yeeskook. Sundering is good as Cassia is deleted. You can see the laser actually doesn't hit anyone because the target's already dead. Bruiser, though, tanking through with the shield surge. Aegis is beautiful. And Melody C is piecing out as the A-Team take the double.
The 5-man Aegis there, and you could really see the value of the Psionic Shield at level 4 as well. The additional shield amount when sorry, I keep saying Tassador, god dang it. When Artanis is brought down to low HP, he will get bonus shield value, and that is going to work so well with Sally Whitemane. Absolutely incredible team fights here. It keeps going on there as well for the A-team. This time around, though, have they bitten off more than they can chew?
There's a good knockup, but without that shield, Garrosh cannot tank through the counterattack from SPT. Malfurion was also not taken out. Olele over the wall, but Melody C is relentless. Thrall will fall, gains a couple stacks, though, and Lightning Fury, though, is finished for Melody C.
Oh, it could have all been so nice here for the A-team if only they had known their limits a little bit better, you know? Sometimes instead of, maintaining the fight near the Immortal, you just go back to base, you fill up your mana bars, your health bars, at least on some of those heroes. And true, that will basically slow down your Immortal progress, but it also keeps your heroes alive. So, great team fight before. This time around, when on cooldown, A-team looked a little shakier.
And as such, the aggressive move in from the A-team, looking to try and gain even more value to try and clear this Immortal. Aggressive move from SPT. Thanks, Brain. As we see them trying to move in, trying to gain a big XP lead. As this is one of the first times they've been able to gain the positioning advantage.
Here comes the flank.
Look at this wraparound. I love it. Now they move in immediately onto Garrosh with Indomitables, but we can't Indomitable body box. He can, however, receive armor from Whitemane as he's able to pull back. He's at basically max armor he can get at this point as they tank through this Purify Beam, zones away Lucky.
Yeah, you could actually see that the A-team was pinging towards that bush. Unfortunately, they were, using abilities to find out who's in there a little too early because Blaze arrived just a second later, so they were kind of hit there by surprise. But still, great efforts by Stugos on that Whitemane. Yet again, a perfect Scarlet Aegis to keep Garrosh alive. That was so crucial. That was so important for them.
Well then, we see positioning taken by the by SPT with a talent advantage. They're going to start grabbing mercenaries. We also have Genji also rotating down. He still hasn't finished off that middle fountain. That's still tilting to me.
A true survivor, that middle fountain. It looked so grim in the early stages of the game forward, but it's still standing. There we go. Now, all the cooldowns, all the heroic abilities are going to be back for the A-team after hitting level 13. At level 13, Artanis could go for the triple strike against a Nubrak. That is certainly very, very powerful. Let's see what this Artanis is going to show us here, because already the build that he went for is a little different to what we're used to seeing normally.
That it is, as the Sundering comes out, though, moving forward, the good cocoon onto Whitemane. They need to pop that as Melody C comes in. X-Strike is lovely. It's going to be a double kill. Yeetskook nowhere to go. He will be taken out. Now the question is, Bruiser has no escape tools either. He's just going to get stuck in and do what he can. Stugos goes down, and Bruiser is all alone. Gets a little bit of extra damage thanks to that Solarite Reaper on the way out, but he does go down. And you mentioned that level 13, Templar's Zeal coming in here, meaning that each time Shield Overload activates, he regains his cooldown of Blade Dash. This means, in theory, combined with Solarite Reaper, he can just gain a huge amount of cooldown reduction, and this is going to be even more important once we have that Force of Will at level 16, but he doesn't have it yet.
Yeah, some really nice synergy now between his level 13 and 7 talent, that's for sure. However, Tetra, I do want to criticize here for the first time Bruiser a little bit. I think that Purifying Beam did not work out too well. First of all, it was used on a Nubrak who, thanks to his mobility and his tankiness, shouldn't really be the target to be first burst down by it. And then, unfortunately, also the bunker absorbed most of the damage here. So the overall Artanis value in that teamfight was relatively limited. Speaking of things, though, here, I think the A-team might want to make a move here. It's so good for them right now to fight on even talents. 16 is still half a level away from the SPT. And, in this map, you don't really have that many soaking possibilities here. So they really have enough time to actually make something happen here.
Here comes Artanis, goes aggressively for the flip. They're trying to fight pre-16 as Artanis is blinded right now, tries to get his shield back, and he does temporarily, but still gets focused down. Purifier Beam will take out, like you already mentioned, that bunker, but SPT with the man advantage, they move forward. They'll easily get Garrosh once again, and SPT are just winning fight after fight after fight right now.
Wait for it. There we go. Malfurion blowing Garrosh to pieces. Now, the big problem in those last two team fights was, first of all, Artanis being a little out of position, going in a little too greedily. But secondly, of course, the reason why he ended up dying so quickly as he did was because of that cocoon onto Whitemane every single time. I'm not sure. Let me actually check something here. Li Ming didn't even go for Disintegrate. I was wondering the entire game why that cocoon continued to last as long as it did, but Li Ming not going for Disintegrate, now it all makes sense.
That's really weird. That could be a big mistake here, as we do see right now SPT making the most of those isolations, and they are going to be able to take a full shield immortal. And well, the A-team, their last remaining keep, I don't think it's going to be remaining much longer.
Yeah, that is going to be a really, really rough hold here for the A-team. A full HP, full shield immortal, no 16 in sight anytime soon. The A-team is with their backs against the wall. Now, there's two ways to play this. You defend it at the core and hope for a miracle, or you're trying to make a flank initiation happen. Preferably on a low HP target, like Malfurion, for example, like Lucky. But look at the positioning here. The frontliners are shutting down the gates here. They're shutting down the path. Malfurion is the one engaged upon on, has to run away from the laser, but is it going to be enough?
LOK trying to micro through, but he gets focused down. Tranquility, Malfurion using the extra movement speed to just easily outrun the Purifier Beam. And Bruiser, he's all alone, still without even 16. Level 16 available for SPT. They pick up the double, looking for the triple, which they will get here onto Yeats Cook. And now with the Immortal still over half a shield, this will likely be it, Kendrick.
This is definitely going to be a Tetcher. They get another kill, making it a quad kill. Can they make it a pentuple kill? Yes, they can. And already we have people leaving the game. The A-team realizes that this is the end. The core is about to fall here. They don't even wait for that Immortal. They don't even need it. Map objective, please. And yeah, one final attack, and down it goes. A 1-1 Tetcher. And after a rough game number 1, SPT finally stabilized and bounced back. Still, the A-team, they fought valiantly. They had their good moments, especially in the early game here, but not going for this Disintegrate to pop those cocoons that hit Whitemane every single time. I think that was a big boo-boo.
And we end